Here today was Kyle Hamilton. Kyle, best safety in the NFL. You've partnered with USA on their Salute to Service program for their My Cleats, My Cause, My Cleats program. Can you tell us about your work, with the company and military families and things like that?
Yeah, so I partnered with USAA this year for My Cause, My Cleats, and just appreciative of the NFL for allowing us the opportunity to highlight some causes that we feel are important. And for me, it was our military kids, which is an organization that highlights and helps kids that whose parents or loved ones are deployed somewhere else or recovering from combat injuries. So, spending some time with them, got to show them around the facility a little bit a few weeks ago and just see their happy faces and then play some basketball, some football with them. But yeah, so I'm going to be wearing some cleats with our military kids logo and all the military branches and a bunch of highlights and stuff like that.
I sent out a design and a post on those cleats this morning. Could you tell our listeners and our viewers who designed them and how you came up with such a fire concept?
Yeah, it was done by Marcus. He goes by Soul by Sir. Super talented, and he's done a bunch of stuff for a bunch of guys and a ton of guys around the league where his designs and cleats, and it just kind of gave him creative lead on this, and gave him an idea of what I wanted to look like, and not really knowing exactly what it was going to turn out as, but I think it was 10 times better than what I even imagined. So he did a great job, and just appreciate him.
I believe your grandfather was in the military, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a military kid myself. How did that impact you? I know your parents weren't in the military, but in terms of his service and things of that nature, stories, or different things, from your childhood.
Yeah, well, first off, I might not be where I'm at today if he wasn't in the military. He was stationed in South Korea and met my grandmother, who had previously had my mom. And so my mom was raised in South Korea until she was about 13. And so my grandfather married her mom, and they moved back to the States together. And they were in a few military bases while they were here, and ultimately ended up in Clarksville, Tennessee, and that's where she calls home. But yeah, just that discipline that was passed down to my mom, not only from her Korean side, but from her father just being in the military. And I think that definitely helps me out today, just in football and in life, just being resilient.
Speaking of football, I know you've been dealing with an ankle injury or so. I know you played last night. How are you feeling as a whole, heading, one more game before the bye and then 5 games after that for the stretch run? How are you physically feeling?
Feel good. Feel good. Didn't have a ton of action last night, so I think that kind of helps, preserve the body. But the guys are flying around, making a bunch of plays. But we got a big one this week against Philly. They're coming into Baltimore, and then we got a bye week next week. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to get a big win before the bye and feel good going into the last few weeks of the season.
Speaking of Philadelphia, I'm a Philadelphia native. Big game, probably one of the biggest games we'll see this week, this year. Can you talk about that matchup as much as you can? And I mean, when you watch both teams, I guess you could see mirror images in terms of quarterback play, running back play, discipline, special teams, of course, with your coach, and solid safety play. How do you see that playing out in terms of the matchups and things like that?
Yeah, those guys are super talented, top to bottom. Just at a glance, I haven't really delved too deep into watching film and stuff like that yet. But just from the games that I've watched and I've played, they play super fast on defense, and on offense, they'll maul you, and they can also throw the ball around, and they got a ton of talent. It's gonna be a tall task, but I feel like we got the guys to go out there and execute what we need to do.
You've taken more of a leadership role this season. I know some guys are out, some guys departed, but in terms of your ascension in the league and the more responsibility you have, how does that come about, and how are you feeling about that going forward?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just blessed to be in the opportunity or be in the position that I'm in and have the opportunity that I have going forward. I think sometimes I got to take a step back and appreciate what I have and the opportunity that I do have in front of me to achieve what I've always wanted to in life, was just be a very good NFL football player. And I feel like I'm on my way to doing that. And part of that is that trust and that leadership part. And I feel like it's something I can still get a lot better at. But being almost at the end point of year three, I feel like I'm in a good position to achieve about things.
You are, I would say, the new standard, the new prototype for how a safety or how a hybrid defensive back should be. We can say you developed that at Notre Dame, but what goes into being able to cover, stop the run, blitz, play deep, do all those things while having the green dot on your helmet, having the ability, to call a defense and different things like that.
Yeah, I think it's just repetition and confidence, along with playing some basketball growing up, to help out with the footwork and quickness and all that stuff. But because I wasn't always 6'4", so it helped kind of being a smaller guy and then just growing into it and being able to maintain the elusiveness that I have now. But I think the mental side of the game is honestly the more important part. Putting yourself in the right position to be successful, putting teammates in the right position for them to be successful. Because at the end of the day, if we're all succeeding, we're winning games, and we're all achieving what we want, which is ultimately the Super Bowl. So I think we got a good group of guys that have the opportunity and definitely the talent to go win it.
Do you prefer to be in space more, or do you prefer a structured game plan with what you're going to do and it's outlined with how you're going to do it? I mean, I know you're able to freestyle, do a lot of those things. Are a lot of those things your call, or it's already designed?
Most everything's designed. Our defense coaches do a great job putting guys in certain positions where it looks like it may be a freelancing, but in reality, it's something that we've been practicing all week. And once we can get to that point where it's just cohesion between players and coaches and it's kind of seamless, I think, it helps us play a lot faster.
Last night, the two brothers, the Harbaughs, the family as a whole, really, great family, great tradition, football tradition. How was it being a part of that first matchup? They met previously. A lot of you guys were in high school and different things like that. For you, how was that? Edwards, former Ravens. How was that whole atmosphere in LA last night for you?
Yeah, I think it was really cool. More so before and after the game. During the game, I'm not really thinking about it too much. It's just, we're playing another football team and I try to get our jobs done. But I'm sure it's going to be talked about for a while. And the two coaches obviously growing up together in the same household and seeing where they're at today, it's pretty crazy. And I think we got to appreciate this happening because I don't think it's happened before other than the Harbaughs doing it earlier in their lives, but it's something that they'll probably play again, play some big games in the playoffs against each other. So it's awesome to be a part of that and be on the winning side of it.
Potential playoff preview. I mean, I wrote about that this morning. I feel like, a couple things if, you guys can meet again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They're a great team, and I can definitely see that.
Final question, Notre Dame, USC this weekend. What are your thoughts on the job that Marcus Freeman has done? And, you being a Fighting Irish alum, what are your thoughts on what they can do in the college football playoff?
Yeah, I think the team, they had that one hiccup against Northern Illinois earlier this year, which is disappointing because I feel like they win that game handily, then they'll be top two, if not number one in the country right now. So, but it's a 12-team playoff now, and I think we have a great chance of being in it. But just gotta stay consistent. Both sides of the ball have been playing well. They've been physical up front, and defense been flying around. So I think they maintain that, then they can go pretty deep in the playoff.
Well, Kyle, again, we appreciate you for hopping on. I mean, I know you guys landed this morning. You're the best safety in the NFL. Thank you for giving me your time on such short notice, man.
Appreciate you, Glenn. Have a good one.
You too. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks, Glenn. Talk later.